My name is Slava. We are here with Pauline from NOWPayments, discussing a controversial topic about anti-money laundering for crypto businesses. I am certified AML specialist and co-founder of AMLBot project. For more than 2 years, we help crypto businesses and individuals to mitigate risk related to crypto transactions. We serve about 7,000 clients, and NOWPayments one of them. What is more important, we also use NOWPayments service for our billing and invoicing. And Pauline, please tell us more about yourself, about your company, about your service.
So, thank you so much for introducing me, Slava. My name is Pauline Shangett, and at the moment I serve as Chief Marketing Officer of NOWPayments, the crypto payment system, and until recently I was Chief Marketing Officer of ChangeNow, the instant crypto exchange service. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself first. I am a linguist by profession. I joined the crypto space around 2.5 years ago, and ChangeNow was my first crypto job. So I am very excited about crypto, and we've done some great strides with making ChangeNow as it is right now. So I joined it when it was pretty much at the very beginning, and now NOWPayments needed me, so I joined it. A little info about ChangeNow in case anyone here doesn't know about it. It's an instant crypto exchange service. So basically, it allows you to swap more than 200 assets between each other without having to create an account. It eliminates the need to go to a centralized crypto exchange like Binance or Bitrex. As already said, it eliminates the need to go to a centralized exchange like Binance or Bitrex or Bitfinex, register an account and pass a fairly tedious registration procedures like passing the KYC checks and creating accounts and whatnot. And NOWPayments was made based on the very first iteration. NOWPayments was made on ChangeNow's API. It is a crypto payment system which allows anyone, literally anyone, merchants, e-commercers, just regular people, accept more than 50 cryptos in a very smooth and, more importantly, non-custodial way. So I'm very excited to join this webinar and answer some questions that you might have to sort of shed some light on how we operate, what we do, and what makes us great.
Okay, thank you. So as far as I hear, you only 2.5 years in crypto, right?
Yeah, I joined, I think, in June 2018. I've heard about crypto before a lot. My mom was the one who sort of led me into the crypto world because she kept reading about Bitcoin on the internet, and that was a thing back in 2015. She approached me and was like, we should invest, but I was young and stupid and I didn't listen to her. So 3 years passed before I joined crypto in full as an employee.
Okay, thank you. Let me clarify our topic we discussed today.
Oh yeah, please do.
Yeah, then we have perhaps questions to each other. Also, we have questions from our participants, I guess, and the best questions will be rewarded. Yeah, crypto payments seem a good alternative for classical payments, especially for the very beginning, not maybe very beginning, but a few years ago. And today, the regulator tells us that all the crypto at risk. So that you need to follow ML procedures. You need to check all the incoming transactions. You need to have KYC, ML, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And it seems like something difficult and scary. And today I want to debunk some myths related to this topic. Bitcoin and other blockchains are fully transparent and traceable by their nature. And specific software can monitor and assess all the transactions and all the addresses. How to do it? The blockchain analytic tool combines addresses into the clusters, assess those clusters, labels them with specific labels, and according to activity, according to the type of activity, and traces roads between those clusters right to the particular address. Thus, each address that has connection to other addresses can be estimated in terms of money laundering risk. And when I say different activities, I mean something like this. All the activities could be divided into 3 groups. High level of risk, like dark market, ransom, software, etc. Medium level of risk, like gambling, risky exchanges. And low level of money laundering risk, or 0 level, like miners, trusted exchange, etc. And let's clarify the following. The share of such a risky transaction is about 1%. It's a tiny fraction of all the transactions. Nothing to compare with classical money vault. However, the regulator demands to take measures, and business needs to obey. Those who refuse will definitely face problem, like fresh news from BitMEX. Yes, from BitMEX. This is the chart of BitMEX transactions, and in the wake of money laundering scandal, anti-money laundering scandal, we can see how many bitcoins were withdrawal. It was big loss for BitMEX itself, and it's not the only example. And countries are ready to spend decent budget for blockchain's analytic tools. Here you can see contracts of US government with Chainalysis, and Chainalysis is not the only subcontractor for such services. What to do for businesses that want to stay compliant? First of all, it's better to have KYC form in your web application or mobile application. It could be an easy KYC form or integration with some KYC provider. Also, we suggest to implement API of AMLBot or any other crypto screening system. This is just AMLBot, since API is easy to implement. Any business can start with $100, so it's easy for small businesses, for medium businesses. Then to start, check as either all the transactions or just the big transactions, and monitor and block bad actors. So the implementation of ML functionality will take up for 2 weeks, I guess. And this is all. For small businesses, for medium businesses, it's enough to stay compliant. I guess that's all. Now we can answer questions if you help Pauline, or we can get questions from our chat, from our participants.
Oh yeah, I have a few questions. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really informative. First question is sort of a more general one. How did the AMLBot project get started? Who does the team consist of, and what's your specialty in this grand scheme of things of what you just described?
About 3 years ago, we had a business connected with crypto exchange. We exchanged crypto to fiat to crypto. And we faced a problem with regulator, and we faced a problem with blocking on some exchanges, on some big global exchanges. Thus, we created a software for ourselves and decided why not to create the same for other users that want to mitigate risks as we did. That's how it started. And in all this scheme, our software provides monitoring for transactions and monitoring for blockchain addresses, mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Ripple, and some other coins.
Thank you so much. I have one more question that pertains to actually about like monitoring and blocking bad actors and checking transactions. Do regulators actually care about tainted wallets and money flowing to the dark net? Who is sort of like, who has the most interest in this? Which maybe it could be like a regulatory organ or some other actor which has the most interest in controlling the money that's flowing into the dark net and Bitcoin or other crypto wallets being tainted.
As far as we know, there are two main players on this regard. It's regulator of specific countries, and it could be financial monitor agency and law enforcement agencies. Law enforcement agencies require such investigation in case of hacking attack, in case of stolen coins. They need to do something in this regard. Both players are interested in money flow to dark market, because this is big amount of money and it's very easy for any e-commerce to sell some drugs or whatever they sell, just accepting Bitcoins. They don't have much alternatives for such businesses. So yeah, police and law enforcement agencies are very interested in such solutions.
Okay, and we actually know that fairly recently the European law enforcement agencies have been very closely monitoring FATF's new AMLB5 directive. Could you let us know a little bit of how, like, what will the European AMLB5 directive actually mean for the industry?
This directive enforces crypto services and crypto-related services to implement anti-money laundering procedures and implement KYC procedures and implement travel rule, especially for big exchanges. What does it mean? It means that now it's much more difficult to get license, for example, for crypto exchange. And even though you got license, you can lost it in any time if you violate anti-money laundering procedures or KYC procedures. Again, we can remember fresh news from BitMEX. They did have anti-money laundering procedures and KYC, etc., but they just violated. They just failed.
Okay, and you mentioned crypto licenses because right now it's a pretty hot topic on the market. A lot of crypto businesses, especially those that operate in Europe, for example, we have a lot of crypto businesses working from Estonia.
Yeah.
How can one actually get a crypto license? So what is it? How does one obtain, for example, a crypto license? What do you need to do?
Apart from other things you need to do, like just incorporate company, hire lawyer, hire KYC officer, hire AML officer, you also need to pass exam where most questions are related to anti-money laundering and KYC. Since I passed such exam 1.5 years ago, I'm well aware how it works. There are about, let's say, 20 to 50 questions, and like 90% about how you mitigate money laundering risk, how will you know your clients, how will you work with political exposure persons, etc., etc. It's kind of like a banking license today. Not the same, but very close to it.
Okay, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And how expensive is it? How much money do you have to pay to actually obtain the crypto license?
No, it wasn't expensive. And I was talking about Estonia. I don't know about other countries. I was talking about Estonia, and it wasn't expensive. More expensive. You need some money for lawyers, for KYC officer, for AML officer, and to file all the problems you have. This is your main budget, not for getting license.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess the only question I have left is what's coming up next for AMLBot. What are you how do you envision yourself in 1 to 3 years in the industry? What do you have planned for the next 1 to 3 years?
First of all, we need to respond on any requirements from regulator. And each few months, there are some new news from regulator. You need to do this, you need to do that. Secondly, we need to respond to our users' feedback and to improve our instrument, to make it easier to use, to add more features. And also, we are heading to publish our own mobile application, which has the same functionality with non-custodial crypto wallet. So this is our plan for nearest future, I guess 2 years.
Sounds pretty cool. Can't wait. Well, now I guess some questions to us are in order. Maybe, Slava, you would like to know something about our business and about how we operate in regard to anti-money laundering things and matters.
Yeah, just a moment. What is the difference between AML for fiat to crypto? Fiat in this regard means classical money to crypto versus crypto to crypto operations.
So this is an interesting question. For us as a service that mostly deals with crypto to crypto operations, because we deal our main in-house processing deals with crypto to crypto operations. Perhaps I'm more authorized to answer to the crypto to crypto thing. Well, you see, crypto to crypto operations are not as strictly regulated at the moment as fiat money is. So, for example, while for a crypto to crypto operations, most KYC sort of procedures that a person needs to pass in order for their transaction to be approved by a company's AML KYC policy consists only of an ID picture, a selfie, and maybe some supplementary things like date of birth, email address, and phone number. Whereas for fiat to crypto operations, the set of documents is slightly larger, to my knowledge. Right now, we don't really deal with fiat to crypto AML KYC because we process all of our fiat to crypto operations through a third-party provider. Their name is Mercurio, and right now they handle all the logistics connected with fiat to crypto operations, like the acquiring, the AML KYC procedures, so on and so forth. So basically, that's why we don't really need a license, because we don't deal with fiat to crypto operations. We process them through a third-party partner. The same goes for ChangeNow actually as well.
In this regard, stable coins doesn't consider as a fiat in any way?
Not to my knowledge, it's not.
Okay. We had a similar webinar with Exmo Exchange. And it being told about chat where exchanges can share suspicious addresses connected with illicit activities or thefts. Do you take a part in such collaborations, or your business model doesn't require such things?
We haven't really done that yet with NOWPayments, but ChangeNow has, even though our business model doesn't necessarily require us to do any of these things, ChangeNow has a fairly rich history of working with a group called the Crypto Defenders Alliance, which consists of law enforcement representatives and crypto exchange staff and other sort of community enthusiasts who deal with sleuthing, who deal with malicious address detection, and as soon as these addresses are reported, we blacklist them, and if there are any fraudulent money passing through, for example, passing through ChangeNow, so let's say a person has stolen some EOS, like we could see in the recent EMD hack, a person stole more than $300,000, I think, worth of EOS and tried to pass them to ChangeNow. And we have managed to catch, I think, around $150,000 worth of stolen EOS, all thanks to the address being timely reported by the Crypto Defenders Alliance. We have, I think, if we were to count the total amount of funds that have been that the malicious actors have tried to pass through us and we've managed to catch, it would be around, I think, $1.8 million. This includes the hacks from BitTrue, BitHum, and several others. And what we usually do when we've caught a transaction like this, we usually freeze the transaction and then we wait for an official police request to come to us that will allow us to release the funds, like they're stored on our cold wallet. And after a police request, we release those funds and send them to the victims, to the original owners of the funds, provided they have provided the law enforcement with proof of their ownership of said funds.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you told you also received money from BitHum thieves?
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I am going to look this up even because this was one of our first like very big cases where we have managed to sort of retain money that has been stolen. Yeah, $500,000 at the time of the hack.
Wow, wow, interesting. Exmo also told about the same accident.
Yeah, we have also caught money from GitHub, Upbit, BitTrue, and Emerald Mine exit scam. These are like the biggest cases that we've dealt with.
About privacy coins, very interesting topic. Do you accept Monero, Dash, or any other coins like this?
Yeah, both ChangeNow and NOWPayments works with a pretty wide selection of like private and we would call them semi-private coins like Monero, Dash, Zcoin, Zcash, Verge, Horizon, so on and so forth. Moreover, we even work with communities and foundations of such coins that promote like more widespread adoption of, more widespread adoption, for example, of Dash and Verge and Horizon. And we, like, I'm not going to say we as a company, but I personally believe that privacy coins do have their needs of adoption. There are fields and areas where privacy coins do have their use cases. And no, I'm not talking about crime.
Yeah, okay, but do you have any problems on this regard from, I don't know, regulators or maybe police that say you can't receive such coins? Not yet?
To my knowledge, so far, not yet. We haven't had any problems with anyone approaching us and saying, like, no, we can't accept an area that's, I don't know, against the law of something. No, we haven't had cases like this so far.
Is it necessary to NOWPayments to have ML checks?
Right now, we do have an AML KYC policy, but there is a certain set of criteria that sort of like that triggers a KYC check. But you know, like for certain reasons, I'm not authorized to disclose the criteria right now because you know when you know the rules, you will try to abuse them. Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot disclose the criteria by which a KYC check is triggered, both on NOWPayments and on ChangeNow. So we do have risk management systems of various kinds on board that check incoming transactions, AMLBot included. And according to a certain set of criteria, a KYC check is triggered. It is optional. So, for example, if a person doesn't want to pass the KYC procedure and their address is not reported as fraudulent by our risk management system or by any other enthusiast actors in the community, the customer does have the right to refuse and receive a refund right away.
Thanks. We also have some questions from our attendees. How can fintech digital banks redesign their financial crime AML operational frameworks to cater for crypto payments?
That's a fairly interesting question. Slava, do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I think they don't need to redesign much, since all they need is to implement right now anti-money laundering tools, like crypto screening tools. And I guess the most difficult requirements today is travel rule. It means that crypto services need to exchange information about their customers in case they interact with each other. And I guess this is technically very difficult to implement and very costly. I guess in this year, most of the businesses fail to implement it and they change a deadline. So, but in general, it's already happening. It's already all those frameworks are working right now, apart from travel rule.
Mm-hmm. Well, to my knowledge, I think that sort of, the existing crypto payment like AML framework that's already in place right now, hasn't it already been sort of copied from the traditional finance AML frameworks? Like, we know that the KYC procedure is pretty similar to what fiat operations do, and other AML financial directives are also pretty much lifted from the existing traditional finance regulations and laws. Yeah,
exactly.
So the next question from Manny at fmpartners.uk is, what is the best and most effective way sanction controls can be put for cryptocurrencies?
As far as we know, a few organizations worldwide publish such a sanction lists. Also, the exchanges share information about any attack, any illicit activities, and probably those are two main sources, apart from internet and Reddit, maybe Twitter, but it's not reliable sources. I guess most reliable is public agencies that publish such a lists, and exchanges as the biggest players on this field.
Well, I think, in my opinion, crypto was meant to be decentralized. Crypto has always existed to be decentralized.
Yeah.
And right now, communities have done a pretty good job with self-regulating. And I think putting more and more sanction controls that have been listed of traditional finance will just turn crypto into traditional finance, but on a blockchain, which goes against the very purpose of crypto existing. So this entire thing started because people were tired of traditional finance, and right now, more and more things that people were having problems with regard to traditional finance are seeping into crypto, which might not be what a lot of people in the crypto community are happy with, so to say.
Yeah,
so,
and probably today keeping crypto becomes even more difficult than keeping, I don't know, cash or classical money because of all this blacklist, all these trails and dirty money.
Yep, exactly. We know of dusting itself when someone can send some dirty crypto onto someone's wallet, and that makes the wallet already compromised, even though there was like 1 Satoshi worth of those worth of black crypto sent onto the wallet, which is actually a very good way of doing crime on the internet, or just making someone very uncomfortable.
The question from the internet, how are you combining on and off-chain information to determine a holistic risk score of the transactions and the user associated with? Okay, so all the transactions are public and could be and traceable in a public ledger. So it's well-known information. Once a user or business makes some operation in the internet, let's say he passes KYC, or he made some transaction after passing KYC. In this case, we can associate specific individual to specific address and trace down any transaction he made do and after he passes the KYC. And the same about businesses. If we know there is a Binance and any other crypto business, or let's say Change Now, and we know their transactions, or we know a few of their addresses, we can put together all the addresses of Change Now or NOWPayments and put them to one cluster. And this is how we can associate not the only one address, but thousands of addresses, and associate with one owner.
Thank you so much for answering the question.
Now we need to define the best questions, and I would say money. I'm not sure whether I pronounce correctly.
Yeah,
FM
money.
Partners. .uk. Yeah. And if you contact Pauline directly and send his Bitcoin address, Pauline will send you some Bitcoins, and and also we will send you a promo code to use our service. Also, Signum.com. Yeah. Also, please contact Pauline directly to send you Bitcoins and promo codes from AMLBot.
Yeah, again, Gino.Worthington@Signum.com and Manny@fmpartners.uk. Please reach out to me on Telegram. It's @deepmoist.
You can write down it in a chat. Zoom.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I will do that. You can reach out to me on Telegram with this handle. And please DM me your Bitcoin addresses. These questions have been really good, so we will send you some Bitcoins, and AMLBot will provide you with some promo codes to try the service.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pauline, for your time.
Thank you.
I hope we will meet again soon.
Oh, yeah, we certainly will.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up to the webinar. Thank you, Slava, for hosting it. It's been really, really fun. I certainly learned a lot, and I hope you have learned a little bit about our services and what we do. If you haven't heard about NOWPayments or Change Now, you can check us out at nowpayments.io and changenow.io. You can also follow us on social media. All the links are on the website. And have an excellent day.
See you.